Welcome back to Tales of the Trials. As you can see, I'm here, but this is not Michelle. This is Aubrey, one of our friends that we made on TikTok that we met in real life, and she was down in town for some fun reasons and decided to be like, hey, let's record a podcast. And I was like, hey, yes.
It was so cute. I don't know. Well, I did show you. I did text you. We can put here or here or here in the YouTube a picture of why I was in town. I was actually in Fayetteville, Arkansas, because Argos's breeder got a new puppy. Not an Ibiza puppy, because you're thinking, she makes those. No. She makes those. It was a Chihuahua puppy, a little girl.
It was the
Super cute.
Okay, I just thought that you brought a Chihuahua along with you, to be fully honest.
Because I do have that, like, mongrel looking Chihuahua, which is like I love her. She's my favorite dog. Sorry for Zoe and my Ibiza community. Piper's my favorite. But this little Chihuahua was so cute and so fearless. She's like meeting all of the Ibizans. She's running through a clover field. She's like going to a dog show.
Am I allowed to put the videos on here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll send you like videos of her like leaping. Like she came down with a breeder from Nebraska. Her name is Joyce, and she is in Brussels Griffon, and she is in Border Terriers, and she's in Chihuahuas, short hair and long hair. And so she, it was like a surprise for her son, and they used to have some kind of Chi mongrel, right? Like I do, like a long time ago, named Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
And when Caesar passed away, there was no replacing Caesar. It's been 10 years. And so she's like, we've healed. Yes, 10 years. We've healed from losing Caesar. And we're ready to, fill that void. And so Joyce rolls up and is like, she just starts unloading dogs. And like when you have, like, there's only so many dogs that can fit in my car, like especially sight hounds, right? So like unless they're Basenjis, there's a finite space. You can fit 4 Ibis and hounds in a Toyota Highlander, like safely in crates. But like
small dogs.
There was like 12 puppies came out of this. I was like, there's X-Pens. They're in the grass. They're barking. They're going potty. They're jumping around. And then like, we can do a section of the video somewhere in this where she starts singing happy birthday to Sloan. And it's not his birthday yet. Like it's in a month. It's like April 19th or something. And she's singing happy birthday, and he's so confused because he's holding this baby Chihuahua, and I'm filming, and his dad is filming, and everyone's watching him.
No idea that was for him.
No idea. And Joyce is full on singing happy birthday, and then she says, she's like talking about the dog, and like Lindsay, who's Argos's breeder, is like, do you know what's happening? He's like, no. I don't know what's happening. And she's like, this is your dog. And he's like, what?
How old is he?
10.
Oh my God, that's the best age.
And so he's gonna show her. He's gonna maybe do dog sports. We'll see. He has like a pink suit he's gonna wear. He already has a suit for showing. I'm like, okay. He's like, pink's my favorite color. I said,
okay, Mr. Fancy Pants.
So we met the Chi-Chi. We like ate out. We like just hang out because we're friends.
Yeah.
Just naturally when you're friends with your breeder. And I didn't bring, for the first time, any dogs with me. Because what we had discussed
that just
previously,
feels wrong.
It feels wrong, right? And I was, what was really weighing on my heart and what I talked to you about like before we met up was having a balance in between filling every weekend up with dog sport events, trials, and shows, and doing nothing at all. And where is the balance? Taking your dogs everywhere with you, never taking your dogs with you. Where's the balance? Where is it? Or do you feel guilty? Because I was really sad and felt really guilty for not bringing any of my dogs, knowing that it's Argos's breeder. Argos, my Borzoi, my Chi-Chi, all of them, always welcome. It's dog palooza there. There's kids, there's dogs, there's Chihuahuas, there's Ibizans. Like, there's always some kind of shenanigan going on over there. She has kennels. They're allowed in the house. Like, yeah. They're 2 cats. There's like a Sphinx and like a Cornish Rex. And like, it's like the jungle. We've got fish. We've got all kinds of stuff. So I know I can bring them, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And was it more peaceful because I had less responsibilities? Yeah. But like, how do you deal with the mom guilt, not bringing your dogs when you know you can? It's one of those situations. You can't bring your dogs everywhere, but you can bring them to your breeder's house, you know.
I will say I definitely don't feel the guilt when I take one dog out versus the other, because you were there. You know what it's like if I take both of my dogs out and one of them gets FOMO.
Yeah.
So Aubrey and I met in person at a NASDA trial last year. I can't believe that was already a year ago.
Like, almost to, like, the day a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know, but
it was my birthday weekend.
Okay.
So it's like a week before. So we met there, and at one point somebody asked what other animal was on the property that was screaming, and it was Dolly.
Yeah.
Because Merle was trialing, and Dolly was like, "How dare you leave me in the kennel next to the car? I want to go find the rat."
We're just making sure no one's hurt. You know, like, who's screaming? Is it one of the goats? Is it one of the chickens?
There was also a goat born that day.
Yeah, there was.
It was either the Saturday or the Sunday, but yeah, there was a goat. No, it was the Friday night.
Okay, I was
we were doing like a little seminar thing the night before, and a goat was born.
I did go and pet the goats though. Like, we went and
might
like
be getting the January one mixed up.
Well, it was spring. It makes sense that there would be goats born, and there were babies. So
I might have my dates mixed up a little bit.
That's okay.
I had a lot of caffeine today.
Yeah.
So yeah, you wanted to talk about balancing dog sports and life, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious, because when I met you, you were literally every single weekend you were doing something with the dogs, and I was like, I want to be like you one day, and you were like, no, you don't.
No. I made like, I'm definitely somebody who is not a planner, and unfortunately in dog sports you have to like think ahead. You have to be like, what's coming up in the next few months? What weekends do I want to trial? What sport do I want to do? You know, like, you can't do everything every weekend because there's multiple events every weekend.
And they usually close like a week before they actually start.
Yeah. So you met me in a time where January rolled around, and I was like, you know, we were having kind of a relaxing winter, and I was like, I have not signed Argos up for anything for the year, because it was like, you know, December, January, like the first week of January, I was like, oh no. And I had in my head, I was like, I'm going to get his versatility, like gold, silver, platinum, diamond, whatever, with the IBs and Hound Club of the United States. And so I was like, I need to get working towards that. And instead of like thinking about being balanced, what can I handle, what can't I handle, we were trialing in something different every weekend for the whole month and then some.
That is legitimately exhausting to think about, because I've done like one trial. I have learned I am a single day trial weekend. I can't even go the whole weekend without needing like 2 or 3 days to recover. And like, I still work full time. I just work from home, so I get a little bit more leeway with that. But I'm just like, how did you do it?
Almost died. Like, very literally. I was like, I can't believe I did this. But then you already have Airbnbs booked. You already have, like, all of your entry fees are already entered. Like, you asked somebody to watch the other dog. You watched, you know, at that time, we still had Zeba and Piper. But we were bringing Argos. Oh, I did bring Piper on that trip. Piper was there.
Yes.
But she was hiding. She was hiding in the back of the SUV.
Yeah, she stayed in the SUV.
Yeah. I didn't know what the rules were, because with different organizations, like, sometimes you're not supposed to have dogs that are not entered in the trial on the property. Everybody was super chill at that trial. Nobody was worried that I had a Chihuahua in the back of my car. But it was nice. We had nice crates. She just has her own little Bruffland. She was fine. It was windy and it was nice, so...
Yeah, that was a really fun weekend. And then I was sitting there like a little gremlin because I brought all my biothane making leashes, because you ended up getting one of them from me.
Yeah, and I used it. The other day. We were trying to help find somebody's cat.
Oh no.
We got new neighbors, and they didn't tell us we had a cat. And then it was like a Tuesday night, and I was like doing my embroidery like the old lady that I am, and I'm getting like alerts on my phone, like, somebody's at the door, somebody's at the door, somebody's at the door. And like, I look, and it's my new neighbor. She's in a pink bathrobe, and she's just running around our house, she's underneath my car. I'm like, there's a loose animal, I don't know what it is. And I'll put you can put, well, I'm not going to do anything because I don't know anything about editing YouTube videos, but here I'll put a picture of the cat that escaped. She was underneath our Honda. At 4:30 in the morning, they finally found her. But I had Argos out on a lead and Piper out on a lead because I was like, if there's a cat, my dogs are going to find it, right?
Yeah, that's actually really clever.
They can find a rat. You think they could find a cat? Well, it's not the same. She was well, who knows where she was, at the time. Right. When they eventually found her at 4:30 in the morning, she was underneath the car. But we just have loose dogs left and right. Here's another picture. Insert video right here.
I'm going to purposely put all of these not where you're pointing just to confuse people.
In this area, right here, we're putting a video of, I did not realize an Alaskan Malamute was so huge.
Oh, they're massive.
And one moved in down the street and I didn't know it. And I, again, saw a commotion outside my house. What's going on? And I saw him going down the street. And I have a big dog. Borzois are big dogs. Ibizan, they're males, both.
They're noodles.
Yeah, but they're noodles, but they're big.
They're big noodles.
They're big. They're not a giant breed, but they're big. I was like, I said, oh, I called out to the dog because I live on a busy street and traffic is stopping. I'm like, puppy, 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 you want to come inside? I'm standing on my front porch and it starts barreling towards my face.
I also want to know how many dogs just reacted to you making that sound.
Let's go! That's what I tell Argos and Leo. And they were in my backyard, so I was like, if there's just a random stray dog in our house, it's not a big deal to figure out where the owner is. And once it got up on the front porch, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna kill me. It just went in the house. And so I was like, and I shut the door and now I'm barefoot. And so I did remember I've seen this dog around this area. So I found somebody looking for a dog. I was like, are you looking for a dog? She's like, yeah. I said, he's in my house. She's like, what? The gate blew open? It's just super windy in Missouri right now, no matter where you live. So
incredibly windy.
Anyways, he was quickly reunited. But if I ever see a dog running past, it's just me barefoot chasing the dog. Yeah. It's just, can't help it. There's no time for shoes. We're chasing a dog. I'm just randomly chasing a dog, so.
I am the ridiculous one who will chase a dog just enough to get their attention and then sprint the other way, because that's how I've gotten Dolly back a couple times that she's snuck out of the fence, because I've yet to meet a dog that doesn't love chase.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried chasing dogs that love chase, and I realized very quickly that is a very inefficient method to try to get them back.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had Argos loose before. Leo,
I don't really feel like it counts as we've had Argos loose. Argos let himself loose because your backyard looks like a wildlife enclosure.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sidewalk 8 out here. I was thinking about how much would it cost to if we were to purchase a property outside of St. Louis with some acreage. The fencing would cost more than the house itself. No matter what size the house is. I'm we're not.
Yeah, you gotta get 10-foot tall fences.
Yeah.
That are perfectly flat so you can't grip onto little nooks and crannies like a little rock climber he is.
I was thinking maybe we would install the fences at an angle so that he couldn't but this way. So he would jump angled in, kind of around prisons. You know how they have the barbed wire. Anyways.
That's exactly what I imagined when you started to say that.
Prison, Argos is personal prison, but that's neither here nor there. We're staying put with the way interest rates are. All of us homeowners know we live where we live now, so we're not moving. We're not buying any more property. So
what made you start realizing, if you want to go into it, what made you start realizing that you needed more balance between your dogs? Because you also got a new dog in the last year.
Yeah, that wasn't planned. Again, a type B personality. I have a lot of friends on TikTok that are in 5 months, I'm getting a new puppy. And they're planning. I have a friend that's getting a basset hound, and they're planning for their training, their housing, their food, their everything.
Is this someone that's
I don't
not
know.
me?
No, it's you.
I was gonna say, do you have two friends that are being anal about getting a new puppy?
Right, but I understand a normal person would plan for that, but sometimes you just get a borzoi. I know. Just a friend has an extra borzoi, you take a borzoi.
I need to make you a shirt that says sometimes you just get a borzoi.
Sometimes a borzoi just happens. And so I was only doing, okay, we should just go all the way back. Let's start all the way back. So sometimes you have to consider 4 things. How much you personally can do, how much your dog personally can do, both physically and mentally. So, for example, I physically can go to a scent work trial every weekend, and so can Argos, because it doesn't require any hard physical labor. Scent work is great for dogs who have like physical, there are rules, like your dog obviously cannot be in pain, but if you have a tripod or a back injury that is not going to go away, but the dog isn't clearly like in pain, but like they can't do intense dog sports like lure coursing or fast cat or agility or something like that, scent work is great for dogs like that because physically not straining, but mentally exhausting. So like I've entered Argos and he's done Michelle can talk about this because she is doing more scent work right now. I told you guys,
we all love sniffy sports.
They're the best. Sight hounds, scent hounds, all the hounds. And so there's like 4 discriminations. Yeah. And I
assume you're just spacing everything on AKC right now.
Yeah, so like in AKC, there's 4 discriminations, and sometimes there's more than 1 trial a day, and I don't think that there is. If there is, I could be misspeaking. I don't think there's any restrictions on how many times you can do that sport because it's not a physical. So I've done back-to-back trials in one day across all 4 discriminations twice. So he did 8 trials of scent work in one day as a puppy. And he was exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, and I had to think, is he even enjoying this? Like, yes, did he cue a lot? Did he get placements? Absolutely. Was it fun? Yeah, I was there with my friends. He was with his friends. We're just vibing. But, like, mentally, it's too much. And physically, how much can your dog handle? And physically, how much can you handle? And I came down with a physical illness. I have cancer. This is not new. Like, I had cancer when I was 30. I found out I had breast cancer. Everybody get checked. Just because you're 30 doesn't mean you can't get it. And it came back with a vengeance. And I was like, and of course I had 2 scent work trials. Argos was already signed up for them. And I had a great friend that took Argos to the scent work trials. And there is hilarious footage of Argos acting a fool. And you can see her like literally look at the judge and being like, this isn't my dog. She's like,
oh my god.
It's Lindsay. She has Kerry Blue Terriers. People probably follow her. So she's like, I'll take your dog, no problem. We'll do it. We're doing it.
Well, that's such a size difference.
And yeah. Dogs. And so, and her, of course, she's very good about training her dogs. Like, they're very well trained, right? Like, she trains her dogs on a schedule, like weekly, like intentionally. And I'm just like, Argos will find the weird smell, so, like, so she's just like, anytime you would act a fool, like her dogs, like her dog Finn will literally be like alert, and he will like put his paw gently on the box and make eye contact with her. And then Argos puts his nose in the box and it's stuck on his face and he's walking around with the box on the end of his nose. So like, I mean, like we have a very distinct difference.
You've sent me photos of that. Hearing the story is so much better.
The alerts are very different. And so she was just like, and I don't know what to do. It's stuck on his foot. It's on his face. I can't, because you're not supposed to touch the box. And the judge is just like, just see if you can walk him out of it. And he's like tumbling over the boxes and kicking boxes. And I'm just like, God. I'm like in a hospital bed. Like, yep, that's exactly what I expected to go down. Yep, that's it. Yep. Give me some morphine. So anyways, in the end, the cancer is under control. It will be something, because it is progressive. It will be something that takes me out, but not anytime soon. It's not growing. I'm under like constant management. I take hella drugs. Like, I don't know if I shouldn't say hella. I take mini drugs, prescriptions.
Editor Jazz is going to be loving and hating us so
It's just
much.
like, so many drugs. But I still have physical limitations, so I get tired easier. I went to the oncologist the other day, and she was like, "Did you fall?" Because I get regular MRI, CT scans, bone scans, etc. And it was kind of scary because I get to read the results before I go in and meet with my oncologist, and I was like, "There's cancer in my ribs." Like, that's something.
I don't think I could ever actually make myself read the results beforehand.
Like, oh no, but then then you're not thinking about it. You're like, oh, it hasn't grown. Great, amazing. Check. Go in for your infusion, injection, whatever. And it said that there was cancer in my ribs, which is where it wasn't before. And so I was like, that's not good. And so while we're talking, she's like, "Did you fall recently?" And I was like, mm-hmm. She's like, and so I wasn't going to tell her that it was lure coursing on a muddy, nasty field. But to be fair, everyone was falling. Like, Argos is an incredibly feral creature. We can insert a video of him thrashing.
If you want to see more videos of Argos, what is your TikTok handle?
Oh, my TikTok handle is Zeba the Ibizan.
You will not regret going and watching these videos.
Yeah.
It is one of the best parts of
You'll
life.
have to scroll through a few because it's been a while. We haven't lure coursed since December. December 31st, he finished his field championship at ASFA. But
Forgot about that.
Yeah, we lure course in the snow. You lure course in the rain. As long as it's safe for the dogs, you're in
You're
it.
running.
You're outside. It's just outdoor sports. And so she was like, "Yeah, you have multiple bruised ribs." And she's like, did you fall slipping on ice in the snow? Because it had snowed. I was like, "Usually it was lure coursing." She's like, "What's that?" I said, "Never mind." She's like, "Don't do it again." So I'm gonna have to have somebody else run my dog, especially if it's, you just have to.
Yeah. You just gotta hold on to the collar of a dog that's acting like a bucking bronco.
Exactly.
I'm really glad I at least got the B sounds in there.
No, we all knew what you were thinking. Yeah, it's very. I definitely have pictures of me where I'll be lure coursing with somebody and I'm laying on top of Argos at the start line, and I have my friend, her dog's jumped straight in the air, and her dog is like a balloon just in the air. I can insert it. You can insert it somewhere around here, the balloon picture. But so clearly after that conversation, I had to think about my health, right? What if I'd fallen the wrong way and broke my neck, or broke my back, or punctured my liver, or some kind of crazy, it would have to be a freak accident. Because I fell just walking around Eureka. Anybody who's been to Eureka, it's built on a mountainside.
Yeah.
There is no flat surface. There's no safe surface. I'm surprised we don't incur at least 6 broken hips. There's old people walking all over the place. It is just a hazard to everyone's health, Eureka. I'm just telling you, it's cute.
Eureka is in Arkansas, and it's part of the Ozark Plateau. So we have a lot of weird hilly-ishness here.
It's so cute. There's the natural springs. There's tchotchkes. People selling, jewelry. People selling fudge, because it's one of those places like Branson where everybody's selling fudge, like Mackinac Island, but in Arkansas. Anyways, I literally fell. I got out of the car, started walking up a hill, and fell. Immediately. Fully on my knee. Some stuff happens. Yeah. But then you have to think it's more likely to happen if I'm lure coursing a dog that's thrashing.
Right.
Yeah. So should have gotten into whippets. That's the moral of that story. If I like sight hounds, get a whippet. Get a Basenji.
Whippets were the first sight hound that I ever met.
They're the best.
My dad was dating a lady who had a few of them and 2 beagles.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the same one who got me into running. And we would run with her and her whippets, and it was so fun. And I remember those dogs were big to me. Mm-hmm. And then I met one as an adult, and I was like, wow, I really was a tiny child. Because they're so small.
You're still kind of small, though, too. If we were standing next to each other, you'd be like, Aubrey's an Amazon woman. And I'm like, well, also Jazz is smaller. She's smaller. So,
to be fair, I felt tall one time in my life, and it was when I was in South Korea, because I was a solid inch taller than the average height, so I could see above everybody's head, barely. And I was like, oh, this is what everybody feels like back home.
Yep. Just seeing things being able to see your friends from short distances away.
Oh, it's wonderful.
You can attend a concert and actually see who's singing.
So what is your plan for this year going forward? How are you trying to implement the taking a step back, realizing you need to focus on your health and all of that, and balancing sports?
That's a good question. It's
Or
now
do
March.
you have one?
Well, the plan. Okay, so I made a rule.
Plan is in quotes.
Yeah,
because
plan. Nothing is written down. Nothing is in stone. I made the decision to do one dog sport event a month. And that way I can spend more time intentionally, with my family, with my friends, with my dogs, and still not give up on doing dog sports. I also was able to reach, one of my goals last year was to get Argos's versatility bronze. Well, he qualifies for his versatility gold now. So he qualified for silver and gold in the past year.
Nice.
And one of my goals was for him to be the first IBSN to get an AKC title, to be the first IBSN. And so he became the first IBSN to get a virtual scent work experienced title.
Okay.
And so I had like little baby goals like that. There's other IBSNs that are like being the first, right now at really hard things like Rally Master, Rally Excellent, overall scent work excellent, whatever.
Yeah.
Big things. Argos and I are baby dog sport people. Like, we're just here for a good time, And so I feel like I have a sense of, like, acceptance that, like, I had a year of craziness. Nationals, Beezer Bash, like, lure coursing our hearts out, traveling. We did all of that, and it was great. And so this year, I just pick a weekend. And it's been hard because the beginning of this year, so last year I got a Borzoi, and I'm friends with the person who she has an IBSN, I have an IBSN, so we were at the national specialty, and she also has a Borzoi, and she bred a litter. She didn't breed a litter, but her bitch was, I don't know if that counts as she's the breeder. He's an Avalon puppy. So Sandra Moore is the breeder, but they were whelped and raised at her house. And so she had a puppy left, and I said, I'll take him. And so, there was a dog show at Purina, and I brought Argos and showed Argos and Leo with his mom, his half brother, his sister, and another full blood brother. It was like a Borzoi palooza. There was like 27 Borzoi entered. But that was March 1st and 2nd. And this upcoming weekend, there is a lure coursing trial only 45 minutes from my house, and there's going to be IBSNs there.
Ooh. Well, that answers my question. If I'll see you at the NASDA trial the weekend after that.
The weekend after that, it will be in April, right?
Oh, we might be right on the edge.
I don't know.
Because, I think this weekend is, I don't know how
Is
this works.
this
I
weekend
think
the
this
last
weekend
weekend?
is the last weekend in March.
Yeah. So
Because I think it's like April 12th is when I'm going to be in Versailles for the NASDA stuff. Because I can't take both of them and do a 2-day trial.
Yeah.
I will go insane. I also do all the meal prep stuff. So, I've got a couple clients who I'm like, I don't actually want to stay up till 10 p.m. again making food. It's not the most fun when it's that late after a trial weekend. If it's that late normally, it's just because I procrastinated. But after a trial weekend, you're just trying to stay on your feet.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, you have to think about how hard is a specific sport. So, conformation is so hard for me. I don't know why.
Oh.
It's hard. I don't know why. And that's the story. And end scene. It's hard because your performance so much affects the dog's performance. Am I holding my dog back? Am I going fast enough? Did I show his bite? Did I stack him correctly on the down and back? Is he humping me? What's going on? It's a real fear. So it happens more often than I would like to admit. So and being presentable, I show up to a dog sport event and I'm wearing this. I'm like in Duluth overalls, no makeup, no hair, just vibes. Like, but you know, you have to look nice and presentable and dress up and, you know, be sportsmanlike and remember to say, you know, are you ready to go before you go around to the person behind you? And like, there's a lot of, you know, politeness. And
I might have to do confirmation with the Basset Hound, and I'm slightly terrified because I'm like, that's a whole separate world.
It's a whole thing.
Like, I know that in previous episodes, I've classified it as a dog sport. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
I just classify dog sports as things you do with your dog to get people out of the house together.
Yeah.
So, like, it keeps getting more words added onto it every time I go to define it. So, you know.
Well, and a lot of people have, and I don't want this to be like a Debbie Downer moment, but like a lot of people will, along with their New Year's resolution, they will be like, this year, the word of the year is inspiration, it's endurance, it's love, it's acceptance, like whatever their word of the year is going to be. But like I have been saying to a lot of my friends, I tell them, just remember that none of this matters. There are things that really matter, like connections with people, or you discover a new renewable energy source, or you cure cancer. But like, if you mess something up, no one's gonna remember. You're gonna remember for a little bit because you're embarrassed because you fell on the lure coursing field. Or, you know what I mean? Or you like literally pulled bait out of your pocket and flung it across Purina and just beef livers everywhere. Or like you tripped and fell during a scent word trial and like crushed someone's box. Or like, you know, you do all kinds of stuff that you just, but none of it matters, really. It's about you and your dog and having fun, and he doesn't know he won a ribbon. Like, nobody knows what Argos placed in scent work novice containers 3 years ago, you know, at his first trial. No one cares. No one knows. Like, it's just supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And so my theme for this year is none of this matters. Because while it matters right now, like, this is just part of life. We're doing something fun with the dogs. Don't make it mean too much, you know.
I love that.
None of this matters. This matters, but like, you know.
But like, enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, like, just be present with your dog. Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad at them.
Yeah, they don't even know. They don't know what a ribbon is. I said, Argos, you're the #1 barn hunt ibizan in the United States. And he's like, I peed on a bale of hay last time I did barn hunt. I'm like, yeah, you did. Like, you know, like, I'm like, he's the #1. There's 6 whole ibizans that do barn hunts, so it's not like he beat out thousands of dogs for the top spot.
He's still the top dog.
There's not even 10. Like, he's in the top 10. He's in the top 6 because there's only 6. Yeah. But, and again, like, I don't take barn hunt too seriously because it's something that Argos really enjoys. So, like, we've never trained for it. He knows how to find a rat. So we just do it. I just sign up. That's where I met Arthur the Greyhound. And, she messaged me and I was like, I'm going to be in Springfield, Illinois. And I'm like, when you live in St. Louis, it could be Springfield, Missouri, or in Illinois. You never know. And so
that was how I met Bree Benton the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept saying she was going to Springfield, and my brain was like, oh, Dog Time Nashville's going to be in Illinois.
Yeah.
And then she posted a video. I'm like, wait a second. That's the fair. She meant Missouri.
Yeah.
And I hopped in my car, and I took my laptop, and I worked from the E-Plex.
Yep.
And my boss was just like, just don't miss things. And I'm like, Roger.
So whoops. Which Columbia are we going to be at? Columbia, Missouri? Columbia, Illinois.
There's
could
a
be either
Columbia,
or.
Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
Of course there is.
I'm pretty sure there's a Columbia everything. And a Springfield everywhere.
I know about the Springfield one because that was like a dumb Abe Lincoln fact I memorized as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now we're
he's from
completely
there.
off topic.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, anyways, you know, you just do it for fun. And you see what happens. And you meet new friends and you make connections and, you know.
I keep fidgeting because I'm already bad at sitting still, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I have a camera. People need to be able to see my face and my reactions, but you also need to be able to hear me because I am apparently too soft-spoken.
Yeah.
I actually had to turn my mic down because you're so much better at projecting your voice than me that my mic was picking you up.
That's fair. We should have put like a divider up, like so that my voice isn't carrying over to your mic.
Yeah, but then I can't see you.
Man, you know what I look like. There's too much proof on the internet to not know what I look like, unfortunately. Everyone comes to see the dogs and they see my face. They're like, swipe. Like, we're not here for that.
Up.
We're not here for that. We're not here for Aubrey shenanigans. So.
You're ridiculous.
So we're having balance. We're doing one thing a month, and the dogs don't know the difference because we still go on walks. I take them on trips. Not this one. And you can still have a full and rewarding and enriched life with your dog without competing in dog sports. It's more the icing on the cake than the cake itself.
I'm actually finding, I think I like training more than I like trialing.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is I'm still way too competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't help that my expectations were set so high because the first trials that I went to, my dogs titled. They didn't just cue, they titled in multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, this is now what I expect of my dogs because I've spent the first 2.5 years of their life training them. So yeah, obviously they can do it. And then we aren't getting cues. And I'm like, oh, I've got to learn how to manage my frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not ever that I take it out on anybody but myself because I don't even take it out on the dog. So I'm like, he found the thing. I didn't read him right because, as everyone's heard 5 million times in this podcast, Merle is soft.
Mm-hmm.
He is the most subtle alerter on the planet. And I watch the videos back and I can catch it. But in real time, I can't.
I'm pretty sure I black out anytime I do any kind of competitive anything. What happened? What happened in the show ring? What happened in barn hunt? I don't know.
You walk through those cones and you're just like, I come back out and it's like, oh.
I hope somebody took a video because I don't know what just happened.
Never.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is bizarre.
And I'm so very much not a competitive person. And so I guess it's easy for me to let things go, but that infuriates other people. They're like, take it seriously. And I'm like prancing through the ring,
And as much as I say I don't take it seriously, I don't until it's competitive. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh, is this something I need to go back to therapy for? Or is this something I need to sign up for another powerlifting competition for?
Yeah, work it out.
How do I get this out of my system so that this is more fun?
Mm-hmm.
Because, never going to take it out on the dog. They're having a blast.
Yeah.
They don't know the difference. Anytime
we haven't cued, it's because something I did wrong. And I've had hardcore conversations with Argos, in the middle of a scent work trial, for example. We were in Joplin doing scent work, and it was the first time he was in advanced. It was in exteriors. There was some kind of Chihuahua breeder, Yorkie breeder, within earshot. And there's a bunch of yip yaps going on. So we're in a field. Not at the trial. Not at the trial, but within sight of where we were trialing in exteriors. Wow. There is a yard full of yip yaps. There goes a bunny, a bird, a smell, someone screaming. Just trial environment. Chaos. He's never done anything in advance before, and wouldn't you know it, I never trained anything in advance with him. So, maybe once we trained finding two hides. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't have a lot of, I don't know, I didn't anticipate anything good happening and probably something definitely bad happening. But I stopped in the middle of the trial. The timer is still going. Yeah. We have 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And if I can find the video, I'll send it to Jazz for this. I literally squat down and I go, Argos? I know, he had already found one of the hides. And I was like, they're 30 seconds. There's a 30-second call. Yeah. And I'm like, I need you to find it. Find it. I stand up. And if you watch the video, there's some, I don't know who would be able to tell the indication. Yeah. But he strolled past and he's like, it's right here. And I'm like, alert. Judge says yes. I call finished and I like almost die because I'm like, that was so stressful for 3 minutes. But when I look back, because my husband is filming the whole thing from way back, trying not to be distracting, hiding behind a tarp. Hide a 6'3" man behind a tarp. He's like, he literally showed me that hide. Mm-hmm. He was like, it's this green pumpkin and it's this stool. And then he starts looking at the yip yaps and the birds and the whatever. And if I had like thought to myself, he didn't like kick it or nose it or like the Kerry Blue Terrier, who's very well trained. Alert.
We do love Finn.
We love Finn. Could he teach that to Argos? Apparently not. So we've been to multiple trials together. We've trained together. Argos has not, through osmosis, picked that up from Finn. But I saw him do it.
I said that exact same thing about Merle and Dagon.
Yeah, I'm like, if only the good rubbed off on the bad, not the bad on the good. So anyways.
So I do want to ask, what is your absolute favorite memory related to dog sports that you've had?
It's like not even a long dog sport career. Like I'm thinking back, like I have to.
Oh yeah, how long have you been in dog
sports? It's like not even been that long, like 3 years.
Oh, okay.
I was very much a dog person. Like growing up, I was a pet person.
Yeah.
You know, there's dog people and pet people, and I was a pet person, and we fostered through stray rescue. I always had dogs. I had other people's dogs. I had, dog sitting. But I never trained a dog to do anything, and that seems, looking back, silly that I never trained my dog to do anything other than sit. But that's where I was at. Piper was never trained to do anything except sit.
That's how most people start.
Yeah, that's how most people. I mean, like that's what most pet people do. They're just a family member and they're just part of the family, and And then Lindsay was the one that got me into sports. Did not know how to get into a sport, train for a sport, mailing something in the mail and writing a check. I'm a millennial. I've never had to write a check for anything. Before I entered the dog sport arena, I had written 3 checks in my whole life, and that was to purchase houses. What are we writing checks for? This archaic, paper? We're going to put it in the mail and hope that it gets there? I live in St. Louis. It is very unlikely the mail is going to get where it's supposed to go in a timely fashion. What are we doing? I'll drive to another city to send my sport entries in because I'm trying to time it right. I'm just just please let it get there. Please let my entry get there. Please. I'm on a wait list. Of course I am. You know what I mean? That's not work in the Midwest. So it's not like I'm even thinking way back. I think maybe watching Argos lure course for the first time, because it was something that we worked on for a long time. You think that a sight hound would know how to lure course, it's in their blood, it's what they're bred to do.
You think a poodle golden retriever mix would know how to fetch?
No. Yeah, and here's Leo. He just fetches. No one trained him. He just loves to fetch the borzoi. Mm-hmm. Whatever. I don't know what's going on. But we did a lot of flirt pull. We did a lot of practice fast cat. We ran him in fast cat. Then he had to run with and Q, Mary Frances, who she's a judge, an ASFA judge, but she has whippets and salukis. And she was kind enough to let me borrow Aubrey and Q, and in order to lure course, you have to prove that your dog can safely course and run with another dog, and not get into some foolishness, fight with the dog over it can just be play. It doesn't even have to be fight. Your dogs are not supposed to play. They're supposed to work together to hunt the plastic bag. And if they're doing anything else other than that, being distracted, playing around, any kind of act of aggression, your dog cannot run with another dog. And so
that's a really good safety protocol.
Yeah.
These guys are fast.
Well, and I have I've been at scent trials, and sometimes I won't wear IBs in or borzoi gear. I'll just be wearing whatever, and I'll hear mumblings in the background, and they're like, yeah, well, you just got a fast cat. And it's just ridiculous that our dogs aren't allowed to lure course. And it's like somebody who has a German Shepherd. And I'm like, you think that your German Shepherd could run with a Cane Corso that it's never met before and some other breed and a Great Dane, and they're not going to get in a fight? You know, like on a bag.
I've never heard people talk about that because like, at least I also don't listen to terribly well. But like Fast Cat was made as an alternative.
Right.
Like it was made to give people that opportunity in a more safe and structured environment.
Yeah. And so then I'll get Argos out and, you know, the little old ladies will be like, oh, she has a Scion. Yes. You know, like, gasp, I shouldn't have been talking bad about lure coursing. But, like, there's a reason that only certain breeds do lure coursing. And there's absolutely dogs who are the breeds that lure course that cannot lure course.
Yeah.
They just can't. They do, like, they're little, I'm not going to call out anyone's breeds. But there's breeds that are sight hounds that are known to be finicky. They don't like their prey being taken by other dogs. They get too snippy, they get an attitude, you know, or they're disinterested. They're like, well, if he's gonna get it, I'm gonna go jump in this pond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's some dogs that just don't do it, and neither of Argos's parents were like lure coursing dogs. So I was like, there's no guarantee that he's gonna course as a sight hound. And Ibizans aren't actually sight hounds, they're pariahs. So that's neither here nor there. They're like fake sight hounds, but they're sight hounds. So
I've never heard that.
That's a whole other podcast.
Good to know. We will have to have you back.
The hardcore sight hounds, will say Ibizans, are not technically a sight hound because they hunt using their sight and hearing and smell as well.
Oh.
They do not hunt exclusively with sight. So, are they really a sight hound if they use scent and hearing?
I kind of just assumed all dogs used all their senses. It was just which one was the predominant one used in hunting. So fun. I didn't know that.
They've got those. Yeah. I feel like they've got those satellites on the top. Have you ever seen an Ibizan hound? Here. For all of you, here's Argos. Look at those satellites. Like, you think he's not hearing the prey? You think he's not hearing, like the rabbits running around?
Well,
I mean...
in barn hunt.
Yeah.
You can, like, I can hear the rats sometimes.
Yeah, scratching around, shifting around in the,
Usually when they're in, like, their safety area and they're just kind of, like, moving around because they woke up from their naps.
Yeah.
But not, like, when they're actually in the thing. I swear Merle has found some of them from the sound.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Just, like, you can see the head snap, like...
Oh, I wish I could see the head snap. That would be wonderful.
Argos does that. He'll be like, doop.
It's like that one video I posted from our scent work trial, from our nose work trial, where he did that head whip. That's the only one I got all weekend. Because, like, the wind was also blowing that way, so he just happened to walk by the thing. I had asked him to check it. We got told by our judge that we were codependent. It's been a week. I'm still laughing because it's true.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Yep. Usually when we call something wrong, it's us. It's not the dog's fault. But you called it right. He did a head snap.
Yeah.
You know,
he could not have been more obvious. That's like the most obvious thing I've ever gotten from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was funny because his first trial, I didn't realize that he had gone straight to the scent.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought he was like, Mom normally puts it on the tire, so I'm going to check out the tire.
Mm-hmm.
No, it turns out that was exactly where it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't call it because I want him to check and be sure.
Yeah, look around. Are you sure?
I, according to some people, don't trust my dog enough, which is probably true.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I get nervous because I'm competitive. Like, I want to win and I want to do good, so I want to make sure he knows. Mm-hmm. And I also know that he's likely to not tell me. He got so mad at me that he false alerted. And, like, the alert that I wish I could get, even though I know some judges will probably hate it, is that he looks at it, he sticks his nose on it, and then he shoves his nose towards my treat pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Because
like,
I think it's hilarious. And I'm like, that is one of the most obvious things that you can do. I can't miss that.
Yeah.
So he did that. So I called it. And the judge is just like, it was our second fail on that one, because in nose work, novice, you get 2.
It's called a mulligan.
Pretty much, you get a mulligan. And then she was like, he was on it at the very beginning. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Mm-mm.
And I watched the video back and I'm like, No, I didn't get a video of that one. I like replayed it in my head. And I was like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair. That makes sense.
That happened. Yeah. Argos, his nosewort journey, it's not really fair. We actually did a nosewort trial. It was in Springfield. No, it was in Marshfield. It was the UKC club that's here that was holding it.
AKC.
UKC. Because Argos is also registered in UKC and does nosework.
Was this recently or was this
It was 2 years ago.
Okay. Yep. I know what you're talking about.
2 years ago. Everyone was super nice. There was a UKC show in Junction with nosework and agility.
I think so.
It was, we were showing, it was like in October and it was so cold out. And so we showed and then we did nosework, and apparently a bunch of the dogs were having a lot of trouble like finding the scent, and like the judge came out and was like, okay, you guys remember your training. And I was like, I'm not from here. I do not know what we're talking about. And they're like, listen to your dog. They know what they were like. She was like doing a pep talk, which I don't know if judges are allowed to do this. The judge was the person who was training most of the people who were there at the trial. I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, it's like, I'm obviously not part of this club. I'm just here because I was showing. And so now I'm just going to do nose work. And it's not really fair because Argos already is titled in AKC's network. So of course he's going to find the scent because he's like, this is old hat. I'm already in advanced, you know? And so
that's what they get for making everybody start at the beginning.
I know.
I have no arguments for that, because I'm like, that's what you get.
He's going to get first place because he thinks this is just like, he already knows how to do this. And so like he would literally just blaze through, and he was like, bam, he's a box kicker. And he's like, it's there. And so there's no gentle, it's just, you know. And so,
or sticking his nose in it.
Yeah. Or sticking your nose. It's very clear if he's fed up, like if he's like, come on now, he'll do, you know, he'll false alert too, just like Merle. So if he's tired of me, I've seen it. He'll be like, no, it's this one right here. I'm like, no, it's not. It's literally raining. And the first 4 dogs with wet paws walked over to that box. I literally can see all of the paw prints going to that box. Nobody stopped at this box, and he's alerting on it. I'm like, I'm not like Sherlock Holmes or anything.
Who was watching?
This isn't Monk, but like, please.
Oh, that's amazing. I was watching back Merle's second vehicle run, which is the one that I posted because it was the one he actually got a cue in. Mm-hmm. He stopped and kind of like sniffed at the ground, and I think somebody might have dropped a treat because he totally ate something, and thank God this dog doesn't eat rocks. Yeah. It's gravel. And then that's when he kind of like picked his nose up. We walked by and then turned around.
Excuse me. You're going to have to edit that out. Sorry.
So he picks his nose up, and I'm like, I didn't notice it there. And I just keep walking him. And then we turn around and walk back, and that's when he got the scent. And I was like, oh man, if I was paying more attention, I totally would have gotten a little bit of a hint off of that.
Yeah, like.
But like, yeah, it was bizarre.
Yeah, somebody dropped a treat.
We had he knocked one out of my hand. Our judge just happened to not be looking. Mm-hmm. And I was like, thank God.
Thank goodness.
Because she even laughed at me because I was like, because we've been practicing. He gets so excited for his treat that and it's like a handful of kibble, so he'll knock it out of my hand. And I'm like, don't you dare drop it. This is important this time. She went, or just make sure the judge isn't looking.
Yeah, just block with your body. Just kidding. Don't cheat a dog with words.
Yeah, don't. It's not worth it.
Not worth it.
It's just for fun. What?
None of this matters.
That's going to be the name of this podcast.
Were you going to ask me what your parting thoughts are? None of this matters. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, do you have any closing things you want to talk about or bring up? You got like 5 more minutes.
Not necessarily. I think, you know, having balance, being balanced, and being moderate is really something that I think a lot of us struggle with, and not to feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty because your friends are doing the things and you're not doing the things. Yes. We struggle with that. I personally do because I have FOMO. Like, I want to be part of the group. Even if I'm not doing the sport, I want to be there. I want to be taking the videos. I want to be chit-chatting, sitting in a camp chair, having drinks, just like, I want to be, we call it the soup. I want to be in the soup. So
I like that.
When you get a show puppy, the show environment is really obtuse because you're in a crate, you're next to another crate, next to another dog, and there's hair blow dryers and smells and scents and fur and treats and judges and people touching me, and it's like overwhelming. And so you'll want to bring your dog to a couple dog shows just to be in the soup. But like as a human, I want to be in the soup. I can go to a dog show and not show a dog and honestly prefer it. I prefer not to be judged. I would prefer to just be in the soup. Shopping for dog stuff, eating snacks, talking to friends, petting dogs. I want to do that. I would rather not even show, honestly, which is great because I live next to Purina Farms. But, but you'll have to bring your Basset Hound up to Purina to some shows, even if you don't show them, so they can be in the soup. There. In the soup. Just get her in the soup.
Even if it's just an excuse to hang out with you and Lindsay and whoever else lives up there that I can't remember the names of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's more people that I'm forgetting.
Well, also, people that drive in, like Lindsay and I, very conveniently located in St. Louis, but.
And when we get the arena built, then you guys will have to come down here.
We can come here. No problem. So I guess that's what my takeaway is. The highlight reel that you see on TikTok, on social media, on TV, those are just like the good things. That's not the whole experience. Remember, none of it matters. And if you want to have balance, you want to put your physical health and your mental health of both you and your dog first, above anything else. And it's the hardest thing to do. Oh, God, you will see
absolutely
like,
yep.
There have been situations where I have been at a dog sporting event and Argos really wants to do the sport and I want him to do the sport because I've already paid for the sport and I have pulled him from the sport because I deemed it not safe for him. I was like, I do not like the way the dogs are running. I do not like what's happening here. Usually that's not a scent work trial. It's very safe. You can walk with a cane and do scent work, right? But I've been in high intense sports where I'm like, this is not a safe situation. So we're just going to bow out. We're going to just we'll just be in the soup hanging out. We won't run or whatever.
Which is also good practice for the dog because.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not your turn. Dolly. Merle.
They're so bad.
Sometimes it's other people's turn to run.
How dare they?
How dare you? Other dogs have fun without them.
Dude, it was so nice because I only took Dolly to the last NASDA trial. Mm-hmm. It was just peaceful and quiet the whole time. And I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also like, I'm traveling out of town. I feel like I should take both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't signed them up yet, so I don't, I need to do that this weekend before it closes. And I have to pay more before the early sign-ups close.
Mm-hmm. So, don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty about anything, really. Unless you're like, not, as long as you're not hurting yourself or your dog or someone else and their dog, don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We're all gonna laugh at it, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
And you might get called codependent by your judge. Who's right.
Yep.
She learned about our podcast, and now I'm hoping that she listens to the bonus episode and realizes how much I genuinely found that hilarious.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped. I giggle about it 5 times a day. And it's now a joke where if Merle's sitting on the couch and super leaning on one of us, I'm like, I should send Cara a picture of this because look at him being a little codependent.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there could be a whole podcast advice we've gotten from judges that we have had to apply in our sport life.
Just need to bring judges in for that.
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
What's advice you've given? What's the best advice you've received from a judge? Because a lot of people are very nervous about asking judges questions, and there's a time and a place for it. Not in the middle of the trial when they're literally judging someone else to walk up behind them and be like, hey, was that at a cue? Is that a disqualification? That's not the time to be doing it. But judges are really just dog sport people that have just done it long enough that now they're judging. They're not, they're just in the eye.
Absolutely fell in love with the sport and they're like, this is now my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a single neurotypical person that does dog sports, I swear.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I will never be judging. I'm not taking it seriously. I'm just like, wee. But, yeah, all of us love our dogs. Love yourself. Don't overdo it.
And as hard as that is, don't overdo it.
It's so hard. I wish I was doing a dog sport right now.
You can come hang out with my crackheads, it'll feel like it.
Yeah. Do zip zaps. But now that I know there's an after trial, is it the 415?
4-1 Chaos and 417, and it's in Versailles. And Heather is actually going to be one of the.
Is she judging?
She's learning. Apprentice.
Oh, she's apprentice because somebody
That's
was
what the word is.
Last year someone was apprenticing.
Yep.
And is she a judge now?
I think in most of the disciplines.
Okay.
I think there's a couple more she's working on finishing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah. I could bring Argos and Leo to do a little NASDA something.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, I know you've got to get back on the road soon, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. There's no training tip on this one because this is a bonus episode. We were super excited to already have a bonus
Also, who's training their dog? It's not me. We're not bringing Aubrey on here to talk about training because she's just out here trialing with no training. She's just like, run free, my child. What are you looking for? A rat? A scent? A lure? We don't know yet. It's just
You'll
jump
figure
out
it out when you get out there.
Once you get out in the field, you'll just figure it out.
Oh, I love
so
it.
bad.
Thank you so much for calling me on your trip and letting me know that you were in town.
Yeah.
This was fantastic. I enjoyed every minute of it.
I wish there was more podcast time. I have so much to just nothing important to talk about. But
at some point, I might just have to put you on a Zoom call and record that. It might not be the best audio quality, but it'd work.
Mm-hmm. This is nice. This is a nice setup.
Oh, it's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Again, huge thank you to the E-Factory because we rent it from them. They bought all the equipment, so we didn't have to.
Yeah, so. I'm jealous. This is worth the drive.
Me too, because I want one of these. It's the Rode Podcaster 2, and I'm obsessed. There's also so many pretty buttons.
Yeah, we're both like, what does this button do? That button.
And we're ending it now, because otherwise we're just going to keep talking. And now we have extra behind the scenes.